Hello, and welcome to The Philosopher's Angle, your daily French philosophical take on the news headlines. This is an AI-generated podcast based directly on the writings of the philosophers discussed, but like all AI, it can make mistakes. In the news today, October 14th, 2024, story, a recent poll shows that Vice President Kamala Harris is struggling to win over Latino voters, while former President Donald Trump maintains a strong grip on this demographic. The poll indicates that many Latinos view Harris as out of touch with their concerns and values. In contrast, Trump's popularity among Latinos has endured despite his hardline immigration policies. The findings are troubling for the Democratic Party, which relies heavily on Latino support to win elections. The party is working to improve its outreach efforts, but so far, it appears that Trump remains a formidable force among Latino voters. Commentary inspired by the writings of Jacques Ellul. As we delve into the recent poll numbers showing Vice President Kamala Harris's struggles to win over Latino voters, while former President Donald Trump maintains his strong grip on this demographic, it becomes increasingly clear that our politics is mired in a profound enigma. Despite Trump's hardline immigration policies, which one would assume would alienate him from the Latino community, he remains a beloved figure among many Latinos. Meanwhile, Harris, who embodies the very identity and values that the Democratic Party claims to represent, is seen as out of touch with the concerns and values of this same demographic. This paradox can be understood through the lens of Jacques Ellul's critiques of modern politics. As Ellul incisively observes in The Political Illusion, politicians are often more concerned with creating a favorable atmosphere than genuinely addressing the needs of their constituents. This is precisely what Trump has mastered, creating an illusion that resonates deeply with his base, despite the jarring reality of his policies. In this sense, Trump's popularity among Latinos can be seen as a manifestation of Ellul's notion that politics is not about solving problems, but rather creating an illusion that the problem has been solved. Trump's rhetoric, though divisive and often inflammatory, taps into the deep-seated desires and anxieties of many Americans, including Latinos. His promise to build a wall and make America great again may be empty slogans to some, but for others they represent a powerful narrative that speaks directly to their experiences and fears. But what about Harris? Why is she struggling to connect with the very community that her party claims to represent? Here, Ellul's critiques of identity politics come into sharp relief. As he notes in The Technological Society, politicians often prioritize the creation of a favorable image over actual policy outcomes. In this case, Harris's identity as a woman of color and a liberal Democrat may be seen as sufficient by some, but it is not enough to win over the hearts and minds of Latino voters. Moreover, the fact that Trump's popularity has endured despite his hardline immigration policies suggests that there is something more at play here than mere identity politics. It suggests that many Latinos are willing to overlook or even support policies that seem directly opposed to their interests because they resonate with Trump's larger narrative about America and its place in the world. This should be a wake-up call for Democrats who have long relied on the assumption that identity politics would be enough to win over Latino voters. It is not sufficient to simply embody the right identity or values. One must also deliver actual policy outcomes that benefit the community. As Ellul so incisively observes, politicians must move beyond creating illusions and instead focus on genuinely addressing the needs of their constituents. Ultimately, this paradox highlights a more profound issue in our politics: the prioritization of rhetoric over substance. We are a society that values spectacle over reality, image over policy outcomes, and it is precisely this vacuum that Trump has exploited so masterfully. As we move forward, it will be crucial to remember Ellul's critiques of modern politics and prioritize genuine engagement with the needs and concerns of our communities over empty rhetoric and identity politics. The news story should serve as a clarion call for Democrats to re-examine their approach to Latino voters and prioritize substance over image. Only by moving beyond the illusion of identity politics can we truly begin to address the deep-seated issues that divide us as a society. Thank you for listening to today's episode of The Philosopher's Angle. Be sure to come back tomorrow for another reflective take on the day's news.